Hi everyone, it's Belinda Weaver here from Copyright Matters, and I'm being joined by Amanda Paris. I want to thank you for joining me here live as I talk to Amanda. Amanda's a member of my Confident Copywriting group, and I'm doing some regular kind of little spotlight interviews so that you can get a sense of what it's like to be a copywriter whose business has evolved and changed, because that's really what we want to happen for all our businesses. And that messy in the middle bit is often not what we get to see. So firstly, hi Amanda, thanks for joining me.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So for everyone who is watching, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. I'm Amanda from Case Study Queen. I'm based in Australia, but I write case studies for businesses all over the world. I also have a locally based business, a copywriting business. I live in a rural area. So I help out my local regional businesses, like get a brand presence online, develop their messaging and communication strategy. That one's only a bit of writing, but like quite a big chunk of consulting. So yeah, that's interesting too.
I love, like, oh, by the way, I have two businesses. And so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But why did you become a copywriter? We all have that story of that moment where we went, yeah, that's it. What was your moment?
Well, I don't know if I might have mentioned this to you before, but I'm a wall and ceiling fixer by trade. So I've been a construction contractor my entire working life, like 25 years, right? And up until the last couple of years, and I've always had side businesses. And what I realize now, that's because I've just always loved business and marketing. But I wrote marketing copy for my mum's business in my 20s. I learned coding. I wrote her website. And I've just really enjoyed that part of it, like the whole way through. But it wasn't until 2019 that I realized that was called copywriting, and that it was a thing that people did for a job. And I think I learned that from listening to the Hot Copy podcast, actually. So I'm like, oh my God, there's like a name for the thing that I like to do. So yeah, so
before you move on, that was exactly the moment I had where I was like, oh, this is a thing. It has a name. It can be its own career. How long has this been going on? So I love that we have that in common.
I literally started listening to the Hot Copy podcast, and I've got this little business accountability group. I'm like, oh my God, guys, you know how we do our websites and we write our lead magnets? There's a job for people that do just that. And they're like, what? Because we were all photographers at the time, right? That was my side hustle. So that's a whole nother story. So that was really funny. And then I think 2019, 2020, I started learning how to do it properly. Masterclass, thank you very much. I think it's now called Incubator.
Yes.
Where I was in the COVID cohort. And then, well, I joined CC after the masterclass, and then my husband and I moved to a big vacant property in a little country town, which is a whole nother story. And I had to turn this fledgling business into something that would support our household, while my husband and I literally built something to live in because there was nothing here. So that's the origin story, right?
And let's dig into that moment where you suddenly, because I think what's quite common is stories like mine where I'm like, I have a partner with a full-time job, which does not diminish what I do in any sense, but it kind of takes the pressure off. When I'm like, I can get this going. What is fueling my progress is me and my ambition. I want to contribute to the house because of my ambition and ego and all those kind of things. But when all of a sudden you're like, oh no, you need to be the breadwinner now. What was that feeling like?
It was frightening. It was a lot of pressure. It was exciting. And I'm just like, oh, this is even though I've been doing it for ages, it's a new thing for me.
Yeah.
I didn't have a business. I didn't have clients. I didn't have a process, and that was just all happening mid-COVID. And yeah, so that's how that started.
I mean, there's nothing quite like, we talk about self-imposed deadlines and the pressure to get things done. That's a hell of a way to accelerate it, because you're like, I got to sort this out. I got to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my husband and I are both construction workers, but it wasn't like because we'd moved and that had all died off. Yeah, had to make it work, had to learn a lot of things very fast. And I didn't have, I guess the worst thing was prior to joining CC, I didn't have anyone to ask about that stuff, right? Who do I talk to? Like I'd only, just kind of found out it was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
how did your partner, how did your husband treat it? Because obviously when you've both been in construction, I know for me, I didn't know any freelancers or business owners when I found out about copywriting. And so
yeah.
it felt a really risky decision to a lot of the people around me.
Yeah, well, I mean, being construction, we always had our own businesses.
Oh,
And
cool. Fair enough. You said that.
so,
Yeah.
like, yeah, so it was the concept was familiar, but it was still that being construction workers working physically, but like making your money with your brain. Like, how does that work? Like, you're just sitting
Yeah.
down all day. I don't understand how it works. He was so encouraging and enthusiastic and
That's
really, really supportive. And he was the one on the days that I'm like, I can't do this, what are we gonna like? We've got to cut down the food budget this week, and like I don't have anything on the horizon. How do I like it? And he's just like, you'll do it. I have faith. You got all these people supporting you. He was like, he's always been fantastic. So, and yeah,
And I
so
love
that's
that
been
because we need a support network, whether it's a group like Confident Copywriting, like a professional support network, or we have a partner or family members or mates who just make sure we know that we can do it. It's always breaks my heart when I hear about copywriters who have families that and networks that kind of diminish them. Like, when are you going to get a real job? How's that little hobby going? How's that little side hustle going? And I love to hear that not only were you a woman stepping up and being the breadwinner in this situation, but you had a champion right by your side going, not, it's completely new to me, but you totally got this. Like, in terms of writing, because obviously you're experienced business owners, but
yeah.
I love to hear that. Now let's dig into the challenges. Apart from
Okay.
like, oh, I've got to get this going and make it work a lot faster than I probably would have otherwise. What were those challenges as you got started?
Oh, okay. So all right, so just think about starting a business from scratch and not just knowing how to write stuff, but like I said, I didn't have like processes in place. I didn't have clients really. Like I'd been like feeling out my kind of direct network, but had to learn how to like market my writing and how to build a reputation and like write a bio. And it was just basically every little step of the way was just like a little challenge. And the biggest one was actually doing it, but staying motivated and like leaning on support when I needed it. And, you know, understanding that business doesn't always go smoothly, and yeah, you're going to have some tough times, especially when you're starting out. And oh goodness, like it takes a while to build a business that is going to support a family. And I wanted it to happen straight away. I wanted to go bam, 20K months or whatever the big goal is that people are after these days. But I just wanted a business that that allowed us to live our life like here out on the property, essentially. So
And I love that because I remember we did a little personal headline writing exercise, and it was kind of like, you're having a feature piece written about you. What's the headline, 10 years down the track? And I can't remember your specific headline, but I remembered it was essentially, woman is happy.
yeah.
Woman is joyful and satisfied and content, but also amazing. And we just kind of laughed like, oh my God, that's actually the goal. And I love that you pulled out whatever the revenue target is, because it's something we talk about a lot in confident copywriting is don't go after these just big numbers or like any numbers that just have no specificity to them. Really dial in to what it is you want.
Yeah.
And it's not just money. Of course, we need money. Money fuels us in so many ways. We can't take that off the table. But enough to live the lifestyle you want in the beautiful house that you're creating in this rural landscape. Like that's a bigger picture.
Yeah, and that's my goal. I always struggle with these, like, set your business goals. It's like, my goal is has always been to build a business that allows me to live the life that I want, the life that my husband and I have dreamed of here in our property. The business is just a vehicle to get there. And I feel like it's kind of uncool to say that, and to not want to be like a big famous copywriter or whatever. I just want to work from home and like live on my property and, get a milk cow and, get veggies out of my veggie patch. I don't know. That's what I want. But the business will help me do that. So
Yeah. And I think what happens, and I say what happens to us because me too, is we get so, I was just talking to someone about this morning. We get so into the mechanics of it that we kind of lose focus with those original reasons we wanted this. Most of us say, I want more time, choice, and freedom. And then we kind of get hooked in to lead magnets and funnels and revenue targets and speaking gigs. And I'm not saying any of those are bad things, but I love how grounded you are in like, well, what's the point? What's the point of it all? There's no point working yourself into the grave.
yeah,
Poor milking cows out there.
I know.
The chooks are out there. The garden's out there waiting. So I love that you just serve as a constant reminder of like, well, what's the point? What's the point of it all? It's actually a stepping stone. It's a tool to give us the other things. And we also get fulfillment and we get ambition and we get to scratch a couple of other itches along the way, and they're not bad things.
Yeah.
But I love that.
I think it's more fulfilling having that, I guess, balance. I mean, I know balance is a bit overused, but
Yeah, but I know
yeah, it's not a work-life balance. It's just life, and it should work for you, right?
Yes. I remember years ago someone said to me, it was another Belinda actually. Belindas are obviously very smart people. And she said, the idea of work-life balance is bullshit. Just go for harmony. Harmony is what we want. And I was like, oh, that always stood out to me. So let's talk about two businesses. So how, like, from the beginning, we're a couple of years in now. How has your business changed from what you thought it would be in the beginning?
Yes. So I really wanted to narrow my focus, which is why I specialized in case studies, and that worked wonderful. I still really enjoy doing case studies. I have like my process down pat. Like I love the people I work with. But living in a small country town, people ask what you do, and this little side business started to evolve. I'm like, oh, if it's like, a couple $100 a week worth of work, it's local, that's fine. And I was checking my numbers at the end of last year, I think, and I'm like, oh, that actually adds up to like a decent amount of my income chunk. If I was to like grow this, how would I do that? And I kind of did a little bit of a marketing plan for myself. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just kind of set some goals around like getting more work and high price work. And at this point now, it's like maybe like 50-50. I've kind of just got this new business that's just locally. It's very different from my case study business, which is entirely online. I work with people all over the world. And this one, like, because there's a lot of consulting as well, like I'll go to like a restaurant locally and I'll sit in with them for a couple of hours and work through their messaging strategy and their communications. And it's just, it's nice. It's like kind of a different kind of balance. It's like a different addition to that kind of harmonic, I guess.
And I love the fact that you've got those two things. You've got the benefits of niching with Case Study Queen. I've just got the website up here now. Amanda does amazing work. I've used Amanda to create killer quotes, but she has amazing case studies. They're an extremely powerful tool. But the benefit of niching and saying, I do this one thing. And then you've also got, by listening to your local community and your nearby audience this more generalist line of work as well? Is one, like you said, it's 50-50. It sounds like they fill your bucket in different ways as well.
Yeah, they do, definitely. Like the local work keeps me, I guess, quite connected to my community, and it's different challenges. I love being in that advisory kind of consulting role, and being able to bring something to the businesses here that they country towns, right? They don't trust outsiders a lot. Even though we've got like a fairly nearby, like capital city, like central business district, they prefer to be able to work with people face to face, and I'm able to provide that to them. So yeah, it's that's connection, and just, I guess, the enjoyment of being in this rural area and being a fellow business owner. And then, you know, the Case Study Queen is this global business, and I get to work with like amazing dynamic personality like yourself. That is just it's really kind of stimulating and exciting. And, you know, sometimes I'm on 4 a.m. calls with someone in the US, and it's just like, you know, just keeps it exciting. So I think between the two of them, it's really interesting. My challenge now, obviously, is to manage my capacity and make sure I'm still got my life here on the property without working too much.
Because that's it. When you have strong marketing and word of mouth referral network and all those kind of things, you can end up with more work than you can handle in a moment. So it's managing capacity, and that's when those boundaries really become much more important as well. It becomes harder to say no when you can help people and you want to help people.
And my business is still technically quite young. You know, I've still got that fear, like, but what if I say no?
Yes.
And there's like not that there next month or the month after. You know, it's just, I don't know what it takes to get rid of that little niggle of fear. I'll let you know if I ever get there.
Well, I think for me, it's always been about trusting the marketing, because once you are getting qualified, quality, prospective clients through to chatting with you, if you've done it a couple of times, you can keep doing it. It's a system. And so you kind of have to trust the system. If you keep inputting to your marketing system, you just have to trust that it will keep delivering the people to you, because they'll always need the work. The work's not going away.
Exactly.
It's when people kind of stop marketing, and then they're like, now I haven't got any work. So the feast and famine thing, it's not necessary. But it's a hard voice to let go of. Just catching that moment. All right. So what big, exciting goals have you got on your horizon?
Well, I've already mentioned the milk cow. So no, look, big, exciting goals. Business-wise, just keep on keeping on. Basically,
are you creating anything that's kind of new, or are you in optimization mode? Because this is also a really different stage. When you create the things, then you should just keep doing what's working and optimize it a little bit more.
I think because I've got one business that's kind of settled into a bit of a groove, which is my case studies. And then I've got like this newish business, which is the local one. I'm doing kind of a couple of different roles. I'm still like figuring out the boundaries of like my local type business and my marketing around that are two completely different kind of marketing approaches they would take. And I was at the stage where I was like, okay, let's see how we can scale, say, Case Study Queen. But capacity, realistically, if I've got the second business, it's like, well, what are my priorities? So Case Study Queen is kind of on the verge of developing like a course to teach people how to write case studies. So it's kind of one of those things that's almost mostly done, but it's like, okay, I need to balance my energy. So that's on the books for this year. So once I get like my local copywriting business a bit more stabilized, then I can, go into that maybe scaling or like optimization mode for both of them, really.
That's super exciting. Well, I'm excited to talk to you about creating a course because I've done that myself and share it all with you. But yeah, that makes total sense for Case Study Queen and is exciting as well. But I love that you're making decisions because I have a little whiteboard over there with stuff on it that I'm just like, I want to do it. But it's not going on my list just yet because I simply don't have the capacity.
And it's okay to say no. You don't have to do all the things, guys. You don't have to do all the things. Okay.
100%, because I was like, yeah, I could totally do it, and I'd be a husk of a human and a misery to be around. And I'm like, I'm not sacrificing the little joy in my life. No, I'm not sacrificing the harmony, the joy, and the balance in order to just keep doing more things. I have to wait, like as you're doing, wait until there's breathing room, wait until things have settled down a bit. Love it. All right. So I've got your website up here. Where can people find you? Actually, no, before we wrap up, I have got one more question. What's a confident copywriting resource that you found super useful? I wanted to wrap up by asking Natalie that.
Yes. I was going to say, do you want me to talk about confident copywriting? Because, like, I love it. Okay, so I've already established that once I joined confident copywriting, I pretty much didn't have a business, didn't have clients. And then not long after that, I really had to create a business that bring in income. So resources, can I say all of it? Like basically at every stage of my business, like from that moment, whatever I needed, I could pretty much find in confident copywriting. And I was just like, I need a bio. I need some way to track my workflow. Oh, look, there's a work in progress spreadsheet. I need contracts. How do I write faster? Killer workshop, that one. Like seriously. How do I charge? Like all of the things. How do I talk to clients on a discovery call? I love it. I don't know, all the things. So and I'm still doing it. Like I'm just going, oh, I've come up with this little kind of pickle. And there's some reason, like I might go to Google. I'm like, why am I Googling? Just go to confident. And if it's, if there's not exactly what I need in the resources, I go to the group, I search the group, like, oh God, the community is like so helpful. Like if it hasn't been discussed before, like you can put out a question and there's so many like generous, thoughtful, non-judgy people that will just go, hey, and just walk you through it, which is great.
Oh, I love it. It's such a good answer. All the things. But I agree about the responses you get where, I love coming in and I'm like, yep, that's pretty much it. That's a play-by-play, exactly what you need to do.
I'm pretty sure that's a deliberate strategy of yours. You just like, if I just leave it for like half an hour, then like,
get awesome answers.
Someone will come in like a Zoe or a Kirsten, they'll come in and they'll like do this like incredible, thoughtful answer and you can just go, yeah, what she said.
What she said. But I love it. It's no like, I'm going to keep it to myself because I don't want to share my IP or I don't want to share the tricks that work because then you'll get clients. There's just like, here it is. Here's all of it.
Nitty-gritty as well, like real numbers. Like real, not like, oh yeah, I'd charge 10 grand for that. It's like, oh no, this is how many hours it takes and this is the admin work you need to do and this is the kind of price you need to be like thinking about and acknowledging that everyone's businesses and markets are different. It's none of that bluster. None of that bluster stuff that can be.
We ain't got time for that. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. Now let's talk about where you hang out because you were saying social media is not a place where you couldn't name a platform that you're there all the time, which I kind of love.
No, I've got profiles on Instagram for like both my businesses. I've got websites for Case Study Queen and also the Wheat Belt Copywriter because that's my region I'm in, the Wheat Belt. Yeah, so they're kind of the main things, and I'm on Facebook for pretty much like your group and our business groups. So
Cool.
That's it. I know, it's very exciting. Sorry.
No, I like, that you don't have to be in all the places. But if you need case studies, if you want to tell the stories of the work you do with the customers that you work with, because that's an incredibly powerful piece of marketing, Amanda not only can do the case study work for you, but she can help you splice and dice it in 100 different ways to make it even more useful. That was something that I loved when we worked together. And then the wheat belt, was it the wheat belt marketer?
The wheat belt copywriter.
Wheat belt copywriter. Hang on, let me go.
That is just at myamandaparis.com. My apologies.
I'm going to put it up right now just so people can see it. Edit. And I'll put it on there.
And that was really interesting in that I have like I didn't niche on what I was doing, but I'm very niche with who I serve. So you've got kind of like a bit of a difference there.
And did you take the photo on the homepage of the week of Amanda Paris?
Yes.
That beautiful landscape.
That's right.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because people in country areas, they know if that photo is from the area. They can go, oh yeah, that's Bob's farm.
Yes.
Right? Like if you put a photo of like some other place, like, in another country or another state, people are like, that's not around here. So
Imposter. Yeah. I love that. Sticky hooks for people. So if you're in the wheat belt or you need case studies, please get in touch with Amanda. Thank you so much for your time today. I know it's early in WA, and I don't know if anyone is here.
This is a very civilized time, Belinda. I really appreciate it, actually.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. It's descending chaos in the background here. I don't know if everyone's hear it. It's about time to wrap up. So thank you for your time today. Get in touch with Amanda if you need the things that we've talked about. But thank you for sharing that challenging beginning, the messy in the middle, how you're still evolving and growing.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. Cool. My pleasure.
Right. On with your day, my friend, and I'll see you in Confident Copywriting.
Thanks, Belinda. Thanks, guys.
Bye.